Yes, Preeta, I think we can start the session.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good morning, one and all. It's an immense pleasure to welcome you all for Career Guidance Program with the blessing of Honorable Chancellor Shri M.K. Rajagopalan sir and respected Vice Chancellor Professor Subhash Chandra Parija sir, and with guidance and support of our very own Principal of Allied Health Science Professor A.N. Uma ma'am. Now let's all rise up for the SBV anthem.
Education gives humility. Humility gives character. From character, one gets wealth. From wealth, one gets righteousness. In righteousness, there is joy.
Thank you. Now, I welcome our principal, our great leader. You show motherly love, given fatherly confidence. Your endless care, guidance, and support prove that you are our great leader. We are really blessed to have a principal like you, ma'am. With a thankful heart, we welcome Professor A.N. Uma, ma'am, to deliver the inaugural speech.
Very good morning. Thank you, Preeta.
Thank you.
Very good morning to one and all, my dear students. I'm so happy today because this is the first time that we have started something new. We have started something new. I mean that we have started a placement cell here at MGMCRI, as well as it goes hand in hand with Satya Sai for both the undergraduates and for the postgraduates, the placement cell and higher education cell. So what is this placement cell? This placement cell is completely dedicated to our students to see that actually they join a higher studies as well as to get job opportunities, not only here in and around this Pondicherry or Chennai or in Tamil Nadu, but also across the different kind of states in India as well as of the international standard. So I feel very proud today. I feel very proud today because we have international reputed personalities to be talking to us today, we have Mr. Ranjit Kumar, who's actually a manager in dialysis operation, and he's working in NMC Provita International Medical Center, Abu Dhabi. A very warm welcome to Sir. Sir will be talking about various kind of job opportunities that we can find abroad and how we need to be placed abroad, right? The second speaker of the day is going to be Miss Susanna Perlai. She's actually pursuing a PG in Master in Optometry, and Madam will be talking about the various kind of higher education that you will need to undergo, okay, take up a training. Of course, we have got many of the undergraduates who have joined here. We do have the postgraduates. Maybe you can go further ahead with your PhD program. The undergraduates can go ahead with your post-graduation, where you can find the different kind of the postgraduate study, whether you can do it in India, or if you plan to go abroad, what are the different countries that you can go. Well, Madam will be talking to you about that. The third person that we have is Mrs. Kallakuri Sumashri. Madam is actually a lecturer and a learning mentor. She's working in the School of Chemical and Life Sciences, and Madam is there in Singapore. Madam once again will be talking about various kind of job opportunities where you can be placed. Okay, it can be in a college wing, it can be in a hospital setup, it can be in a corporate hospital. Okay, so Madam will be talking about all this. So dear student, this is a wonderful opportunity for one and all over here to understand and for you to get yourself motivated to study well in your undergraduate, so that it is easier for you to find a job, whether in India or in an international standard. If you need to be placed, all you have to do is keep your eyes and ears open. Okay, open up your mind. Okay, try yourself to get yourself focused so that you will be well placed after your undergraduate. Okay, after your undergraduation, definitely I want to see many of my students to enter into your postgraduate. Okay, you're a BSc, you're going to become an MSc, after which I want one and all of you to kindly take up your PhD, okay, a postgraduate. Here we have Miss Preeta over there. Actually, she did her BSc in medical genetics. She's done her MSc also in genetics, and now she's pursuing a PhD in medical genetics, okay, in the Faculty of Allied Health Science. So if this is her stream, she's going to get a doctorate degree in another 3 years' time. Means I want everyone here, all of you would have aimed to become a doctor, but that it would have happened with various kind of situation. You were not able to get into your either MBBS or in your BDS in dentistry. You have joined Allied Health Science is not at all a problem, because now everyone now wants to get into Allied Health Science. You as an individual in your field, you are the great wonders over there. I have seen the physician assistant doing excellent job. Okay, and these people after your undergraduates, kindly go ahead to do your postgraduate. I'm working out various strategies to see that we start up the MSc program here at MGM as well as in Satya Sai, so that after which I want one and all to get into your post-graduation with the PhD combo, so that all of you also become a doctorate. Okay, so once you get into your post-graduation and your doctorate level, definitely you will see that the people around is going to inform you that we can get into a wonderful placement, excellent job opportunities that is open to you, not only in India, but also abroad. Okay, so with this, I thank one and all for having listened to me. Kindly stay on to listen to wonderful speakers, that to all three of them international standard, one from Abu Dhabi, one from Germany, and one from Singapore, here to talk to you and deliver whatever they have in their mind to let you know various kinds of job opportunities that you can get yourself focused, number one. And the second part, how you can get into higher education in India. I will be there to tell you in my next session in the month of October. Right now, at an international standard, we are having this wonderful webinar. So once again, I welcome one and all to this excellent international webinar on an approach towards career guidance. Thank you. Now, Miss Deepa, you can take hold. Preeta, the mic is yours. You can continue the session.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, I think I need to introduce Madam Patricia. So we have actually a placement cell, and this placement cell, I am actually the chairperson, and I am the chairman of the placement cell. And we have over there, that you can see over there, you have Mrs. Mrs. Patricia there. Madam is a respiratory therapist, a wonderful person who's got a lot of international connection. And Madam is actually the secretary, right? Madam is a secretary for the placement cell. So anything in future you need to do it. I'll be sending a circular with Madam's number, and Madam will be there to help you. So Madam is a secretary. We have a joint secretary, Mr. Jagan. Mr. Jagan is actually, he has done his master's in urology, urotechnology. So sir has also completed, and sir is going to be your joint secretary. So as I told you, Preeta is there, and Preeta will be a student member secretary. So any queries as a student you have, you can talk to her, and she'll be conveying all the information that you need to know. We'll be starting a separate placement cell group, a WhatsApp group, or we can form it in the Telegram, so that all of you, any advices you need, you have Madam Patricia who will be able to guide you. Okay, this is completely to do with the career guidance. It's not only the opportunity of a job, it is also for your future higher education. Yes, Madam Patricia, you can continue with the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we'll go on to the webinar session, and our first speaker of the day on this topic we'll have Mr. Ranjit Kumar Invashekaran sir. He is from Abu Dhabi, and he is the manager dialysis operation in NMC Provita International Medical Center. Sir has done his bachelor's and master's degree in Ramachandra Medical University, Porur, Chennai, and sir has done his basic life support, sir, and he's certified in PALS, that is Pediatric Advanced Life Support, and he is a member of American College in Healthcare Executives, and he is a member of Canadian Association of Nephrology Nurses and Technicians, and he is also a member of Society for Dialysis Technologists and Paramedics. Sir has done his thesis and projects in Doppler study of hemodialysis vascular access, and he is a co-author in pediatric dialysis. So we are happy to have you on this webinar session, and thank you for accepting our invitation. And we look forward that our students get more information and guidance about today's topic. Over to you, sir.
I sincerely thank to the management and the organizing team for giving me this opportunity to share several years of experience and wisdom that I have earned during my career. And thank you for giving the introduction to Principal Madam and to the other one. Sorry, ma'am, I didn't remember your name. Prachita, right?
She's Patricia. She's Patricia, Ranjit sir. She's Patricia.
Right. As Principal Madam has discussed with earlier, there are career opportunities in various countries, and they're always looking for people with skills and knowledge in several areas. So today I decided to present some more important things apart from getting the job opportunities abroad, which will be useful for your career, not only for your job. So it is wise to choose the career that you love to carry in your whole your life, because there are several studies which found that people over time get frustrated with their job if they don't like what they do. So while choosing a career after undergraduation, you have multiple options. You can go for postgraduate degree, or you can continue to work in a clinical setting, or you can go for a teaching job, or you can work in a research and development area. You can join as administrator or manager in some center, and you can also work as a clinical specialist or product specialist in some companies. For example, for radiology people, they can join in um, Siemens and Agfa and many other radiology related companies. And for dialysis, they can join in Fresenius and many other companies who manufacture and sell dialysis machines, to work as a clinical specialist who will explain the particular machines specification and clinical functions. So all those um, field or satisfying, provided that you have interest to pursue them. So I would suggest to have GPV formula to choose the area that you want to work on. Gifts, passion, and values. So gifts is what you already have, which you need to identify. And passion, what you like, you will be knowing what you like, what you want to do. And values are what is important to you. So based upon this, if you decide what you want to do and how you want to pursue your career, you will definitely will have a happy career, not only successful career but also happy career. So if you see in Economic Times, there was an article published which says that only 20% employees satisfied with their jobs. This is because of multiple factors. One of the factor being doing a job based upon the demand in the market, they choose the profession. So instead of choosing a profession just because there is a demand, you must love what you do. For example, I chose to do dialysis. I had opportunities to choose different departments, and I chose dialysis because it gave me opportunity to take care of patients who are chronically ill, and I thought that is a service to the patients. So same like that, all of us, all of the allied healthcare professionals, we have opportunity to serve the patients and the society in our own individual ways. So we must take pride in being part of the healthcare team, because it, every department has its value, and without which the whole medical team cannot function. So um, they found out that one of the important reasons for job satisfaction is good relationship with co-workers. Good relationship with co-workers will come only if you share the interest with them. And I look to be in radiology, then you automatically develop the relationship with your teammates. So if you, for example, if you don't like radiology to be in radiology, or if you don't like to be in dialysis, you will not have that bond with your teammates because they don't share your interest. So it is very important to choose what you like, so that it will be you will have a very satisfying working environment and a career. Apart from that, some of the most important factors that drive the success in your career are managing your time. This is very important factor, because I have seen a lot of people who say that 24 hours is not enough. That is because they have difficulty in managing their time. If someone can manage their time efficiently, they will be able to do a lot of things. And we should know our responsibilities when we are in a position, when we are in a place. For example, when we are in when healthcare setup, we should know what are our responsibilities in terms of clinical, in terms of administrative, in terms of any responsibility that we are given. We must identify them, we must try to fulfill them. That is very important. And we must avoid distractions. This is very important in this era, because smartphones have come and almost removed all the concentration that people had in their work and family life. So this is very important thing that one must consider to have a good quality of life, to avoid or decrease the amount of distraction they have. And it is very important also to focus one thing at a time. So if we try to focus on multiple things at a time, we will not be able to finish things on time. So that will make our work delayed. So it is very important to focus on one thing at a time. And uh, perfection is it's not a thing actually. So if we aim for perfection, we will be disappointed almost always on ourselves. So it is important to try our best to be perfect, but not to be a perfectionist. If we try to be perfectionists, we'll be hard on ourselves, which will leave us stressed. And we should always keep professional and personal life separate. In my case, when I was earlier, I was working in a pediatric hospital as an intensive care dialysis technologist for children's. And after working in ICU for several hours continuously, and then I see a lot of patients becoming the conditions worsens, and then several patients, we are not able to save several patients, and I go home with that feeling of not being able to help them. But sometimes it's not in our hand, and we must not take this professional life to our home, which will affect our personal life. So we must be able to keep our professional and personal life separate. And it is very important to be optimistic, not only for ourselves. It is very important to share optimism with our colleagues, with the people that we work with our patients, with everyone around. So it is very important to be optimistic, because that creates the positive environment around, and creates a good atmosphere. And it is also very good to take criticism gracefully, because we don't many times we don't see what are our faults, what are our setbacks, and where we lack, and what mistakes that we do. We don't realize that it is very obvious to people who are standing around us and looking at us. So if we take those criticism constructive, and volunteering new projects and taking opportunities, new skills will expand your knowledge and skill sets, which will be helpful to grow in your career. And it is also very important to be a good team player. um, in a team, you must learn how to be with the other team members and cooperate with them and work as a team, instead of seeing having a unhealthy competition. So it is very good to be a team player, especially in the healthcare setting, because this has direct outcome on patient. It has direct relationship with the patient outcome. So good teams can give better outcomes in terms of healthcare. And when we are young, it is very important to learn about financial freedom. So we are all from, most of us are from middle class family, and we need to learn about financial freedom and understand its importance, to make sure that we achieve this financial freedom in as early as possible, to make a stable life for ourselves and for our family. So these are some important learnings from a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So he says that poor work for money and rich have money work for them. And he says that understanding difference between asset and liability is very important. Asset is something that keeps building your income, and liability is something that keeps destroying your property as well as your income. So, for example, you're buying an asset means you're buying an house which you will be renting for, or a shop which you will be renting for. So those things are an asset. Buying a home, it is a liability. So he differentiates all those things, and I suggest that if someone is interested in reaching financial freedom at early age, to go and read this book. It is very important to mind your own business, in the sense that you must learn what is important for us, and then keep learning to achieve successful in that area. That is what he says as mind your own business. And it is very important to educate ourselves in terms of financial education. So there are a lot of things that our traditional way of learning does not provide the opportunity to learn. So those things are important that we learn by ourselves, so that um, we get idea how to be independent and financially free at earliest was possible. And rich invent money in the sense that we must identify the opportunities to earn. And that is what they say as rich invent money. It is not as inventing the currency, it is inventing the opportunities to earn money. And we have to get over our biases and start young. We will be discussing about getting over bias and starting young in the future slides. So we must learn to keep SMART goals. SMART is stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. So we must keep short-term and long-term goals, because only when we set short-term and long-term goals, we will look forward to achieve them. If we don't set goals, we don't have a path, a destiny to go towards. So only if we know where we want to go, we will have idea how to go there. So if we don't set goal, we don't know where to go and how to go. We will not be able to find how to go because we haven't set the destiny yet. So it is important to set SMART goals. We can set short term as well as long term. And short term goals, for example, you want to get licensing for a foreign country, for let's say for Singapore, for United Arab Emirates, or for Canada, for USA, for whatever licensing is required. You want to go somewhere, and for example, let's say you want to go to United States of America for pursuing your higher education, or for doing your getting a job. So if you want to get a job, you need to look for licensing. What is the license you must take, and what are the other qualifying exams you must do, you must take, and what is the qualification requirements there. You must look for all those things. So you must set long-term goal as going to United States of America for job or for higher education, and short-term goal as getting the license, getting the qualification required, or clearing the exams that is required. So this will help you to reach your to have a better perspective of your life. And this is most important thing that I've learned during my undergraduate course, and it has been a great lesson for me throughout my career. And this was taught to me in my management class, and they taught that the law of seeds. We sow a lot of seeds, but not all seeds grow, and most seeds never grow actually. But still, we sow a lot of them to get one or two tree plants to grow, and then at least one of them will become a tree. So same like that, if we want really something to happen, we need to keep trying more than once. As you might have heard, a lot of successful people fail several times in their career, in their life, but they struggle, but they stood, and then they tried to succeed. So it is very important that we should not get disappointed, and we should try more and try to get the success. And getting the job abroad is not really a difficult thing. It is very easy, and all we need to do is find out what kind of requirements they have. For individual countries, they have their own licensing requirements, own professional qualification requirements. We need to identify those requirements and then try and see how we can get it fulfilled, and get everything is available nowadays online, so you can search and get it done. And apart from that, as principal ma'am said, it is very good to know the opportunities to do postgraduate education, and to do doctoral programs, to gain your knowledge, and increase your scope. That you can be a researcher, or you can go and work as a professor in some college. So opportunities increase when you have more qualifications in your hand. So I thank once again for the entire team for giving me this opportunity to discuss with you and share some wisdom I've gained in my career. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Students, if you have any queries regarding this, you can ask, sir. I think, sir, everybody are more inspired by your talk, and it was really, inspiring. And I'm privileged to tell you that I'm your very own junior from SRMC, and yes, and it was really good to know the strategies to choose their career, and you have told about the quality of life, our goals, and our financial freedoms, etc., etc. So definitely, this is a very helpful and useful webinar we have ever seen in this uh, all these academic years. Thank you so much, sir, for joining with us, and we look forward to get connected with you all the time and to get help from you if our students need it. And thank you so much once again, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, and it is the time for our second session. From ma'am, are you there? Susanna ma'am from Germany.
Yes, I'm available.
Yes, ma'am. Students, please mute yourself, students. There is a disturbance going on. Yes, and now we have ma'am Susanna Perlin Clement from Germany. Ma'am has done her bachelor's degree from SRM University, and now she is pursuing her master's in optometry and vision science in Ernst Abbe Hochschule Jena, Germany. And ma'am is a silver medalist in the university level research program, and she has participated in Bosch and Lomb campus program, and she has participated in her scientific session held in Light School of Optometry and All India Optometric Conference. And now ma'am will be delivering us the talk. Over to you, ma'am. We look forward to get from you.
Thank you very much. So, hello everybody. It's a pleasure to meet you guys. Though yeah, not in person, but in online. I'm still happy to meet you guys in online. I hope everybody's doing good. Everybody's healthy, and especially everybody's safe, which is like very important during this pandemic season. So there's nothing much more to say. Let's move on. Yeah, so I want to give a disclaimer here. Ma'am mentioned that I'll be talking about masters in various countries, but I haven't prepared for that. I prepared only for Germany because I have knowledge only about the German country and not more about the other countries. So let's move on. So before I start with my talk, I want to give a brief introduction about myself. Yes, Miss Peter already did that. But then since I've already included in my slide, I'll just go through it. Hello, I'm Susanna Perlin. I'm basically from Chennai. I did my bachelor's in clinical optometry from SRM University 2014 batch. And after my graduation, I started doing my German course, the German language course. And in February 2020, I moved to Germany for my master's. I'm currently doing my master's in optometry and vision science from Ernst Aber Hochschule Jena, and I'm currently in my second semester. So if I have to tell something about So if I have to tell something about my course, it's a 2-year degree master program, and I'm doing my course entirely in German. I mean, my lectures, all my seminars are in German. I study in German and I write my exams in German. Yes, that sounds weird, but then I'll come to that in our later slides. So these are the contents of my slide. I'll just go through it. So life as an international student, specifically in Germany, like how it is for an international student. If you're gonna ask me if there are international students in Germany, yes, of course. And if there are Indians in Germany, and that's definitely an yes. Indians are everywhere, like as you know. And yes, even in Germany, we do have a lot of Indian students pursuing their master degrees. So what is different about Germany from other countries? Like Germany is not much known for healthcare professionals. Like all us, we who are planning to do a master's in the healthcare profession, we usually aim to go to Canada or UK or Australia. These places are very famous, but Germany, I don't think a lot of people try for Germany. But then I want to shine light on Germany so that you'll get an idea. Like if somebody has already an idea to come to Germany, maybe it will be helpful for you guys. So it's cheaper compared to other countries, if I have to say. I'll tell you the reason. So in Germany, there is no tuition fees for master students. When I mention here no tuition fees, it doesn't mean zero fees. You have to pay a very little semester contribution that would come around like 200 euros, which is like 20,000 to 25,000 rupees. So it's like still compared to our Indian stuff, Indian fees, it's less. I guess we paid 90,000 or 1 lakh for 1 year, but then it's here. In Germany, it's like 20,000. But for this 20,000 that you pay, you will be given a free travel ticket. So with this ticket, you can travel in your state free of cost in bus, trams and everything. And the travel cost in Germany is actually costly, but with this ticket, you can travel for free. So when you see all these benefits, it's actually much cheaper compared to other countries. And modern learning system, I'll come back to that later in my slide again. And part-time job opportunities. So for students, there are like lots of part-time job opportunities in India, especially in Germany, for master students or PhD students, be it anyone. You can earn very well with a part-time job, and you can pay your own bills. Like you don't have to be dependent on your parents for your money. So German education system, modern education system. When I mean modern education system, it doesn't mean the classroom or the gadget. Yes, you get a modern classroom and everything, but on top of that, the education system in Germany is like very practical. And since we as an healthcare professional, we know like how practice is like very important for us, and in clinic is important. And the gadgets, the diagnostic instruments that we use are like a little high end and more innovative compared to India. So when you come here, and at least for studying or anything, you're gonna get in touch with these instruments, and you're gonna learn a lot. You're just gonna widen your knowledge. So it's gonna help you with that. And there are 2 intakes per year. Like in India, it's usually 1 year. We usually the college starts in June or July for a year, but in Germany you have like 2 intakes, like one in April and the other one in October. And choose what you want to specialize in. In Germany, there's also another option that I find it as very interesting, is that you don't have to study all the subjects. Like you can choose your own subjects that you want to study. For example, like if I have to tell with my subject, with optometry, like there are like different specialities. You can choose pediatrics or contact vision, contact lens, or something like that. So if you want to specialize only in contact lens, then you can choose only that subject and study that subject. Like I think it's when you're going to specialize in one subject, then you can pick that subject and you can write exams only for that subject. So I find that very interesting in here. And here the master program, it's usually for 1.5 years to 2 years, but then you can extend it up to eight semester. You can take a break in between for 6 months or 1 year. So coming here for the important thing, opportunities for healthcare professionals. So I want to first talk about higher educations like master, fellowship program, or PhD. So one biggest drawback of Germany is the language. Germany, you have to know German. It's not compulsory, but we, as we are in a healthcare professional, we have to deal with patients, and the people here, they don't speak English, and it's only German. So if you're gonna work in a hospital or clinic, it's a must that you know German. So, and most of the courses, most of the medical courses that are offered in Germany are in. And it doesn't mean that everything is of German. There are few courses that are also in English, but it's very rare. But it doesn't mean there's like nothing. And the master courses are like from 1.5 to 2 years usually, and there are fellowship programs. It's usually from 6 to 12 months, and you can specialize in a particular subject. It's like full-on practical program. And for this, the main thing is that you should be working, and only if you work, you'll be able to take this fellowship program. And there are very good PhD options in Germany, and you'll be paid with a very good amount when you do PhDs in Germany. So who can apply? If I have to answer that question, it is actually open to all. Everybody can apply. If I had to say, if you're married or if you have a child, if you're 40 years old, then you can also study bachelor's in Germany. There's like no age limit here. And grades. If you ask me, I don't have good grades, can I apply? If personally I have to say, I don't have good grades, but then still I applied. The one thing is that if you learn German language, you can get admission very easily, even if you have very bad scores, not very like average scores or anything, you can still get in. But if you want to get inside an English taught course, then you would have to have a better score. So the grade, it really doesn't matter much. And qualifications, like if you want to enter into a master degree program, then you need a bachelor degree, but then you have to send your transcripts and they'll check your subjects if it matches with their standards. Then if everything matches, then you'll be selected. And as I told, language, that's really important here. And coming to advantages and disadvantages, I've already told you about the language. Like you have to know the language here if you're planning to study here, but it's not difficult. It's really not difficult if you put your mind to it and you think, okay, I'm gonna study in Germany, I want a better career option, you're gonna settle here, then language is a good option. Like you can take it up. And culture shock, it doesn't, I don't know why I've included that. Okay. And one more disadvantage is like you have to be independent here. Like you have to manage your time because you have to learn you have to you have to attend the classes, you have to cook, you have to clean, you have to go for work. So that's not a big advantage, but disadvantage, but then still you have to take care of yourself. Coming to advantages, yes, it's cheaper compared to other countries. Like I have my friends studying in other countries, and if I have to compare with them, it's like much cheaper, because here there are like student dorms where you can rent for a very affordable price. And yes, there are no tuition fees, or relatively very less. You can work here and pay your own bills. On the whole, you're going to get a lot of new experience because of the exposure, because of the technologies, um, because of the culture, everything. It's not going to be a waste of time or waste of anything. You're going to gain a lot of knowledge, and if you're planning to work here in Germany, then you'll be paid good. I'll also talk about that. So career opportunities. So if you're going to ask me, I've completed my bachelor's, I've completed my master's, can I directly come to Germany and work? Yes, you can work, but then again, the main criminal is the language. Again, you have to learn the language, and only if you're from an IT department, if you're an engineer, then you really don't need this language. Even if you don't know German, with English you can come here. But just because we are in healthcare professional, it's very important to learn the language, and it's always an advantage when you know extra languages. Yes, language is the key. And various fields to choose from. So yes, again, if I have to state an example from my course, I'm doing optometry. So after, if I want to work here, it's not that I have to go only in the clinical field. I can divert myself if I think I'm interested more in optical fields. If I'm interested more in laser field, then I can do that, because you get a various course of options here. And yes, here the income is better if you want to save money, or if you want to earn a lot of money, then the income is far better here. And also the work-life balance in Germany is like very good. Like it's a must that you have to work only 8 hours and not more than that, and you always get two days week off in a week. Yes, 2 days week off. And you also get 30 days of paid vacations, and the maternity leave, it goes up to 3 years for women. So how and where to apply? Everything is online. If you want to apply, you just open the internet, browse, search for it, application, sending emails, like everything is online. I also want to mention something here about agencies. So a lot of people, like I'm not only talking for about Germany, a lot of people opt going to agencies, like the study agencies, study abroad agencies, also for Australia or Canada. I would suggest that please don't go to agencies. Like that is the worst thing that you can do. They are going to do the same thing that you will be doing, but they're going to charge you for that, and it's a waste of money. Unless you have a lot of money, then it's up to you. But then I would suggest, if you're planning to study abroad, like anywhere, just research, like put your mind into it. Open the internet. There's everything available there. There's nothing hidden. You have to invest your time. You have to learn everything. Only then you will get an idea. Like even if when you move abroad, you'll know, okay, I did this. I know how the life is there. I know how to apply. I know, like you get an idea. You get a knowledge. So I would say a big no to agencies. And if you're planning for Germany, then there's this website called as DAR and Uni Assist. So if you're planning to study here, then you have to apply only through this website, Uni Assist here. So if you type in your bachelor's degree, And if you type in your master's degree and your required field, like I want to, okay, I'm from radiology, like what are the options that are there? Like what are the master options are there that are there? What are the fellowship programs that are there? You can type that and everything will be listed, like with all the colleges, with how long the duration, about the language, and everything will be listed there. So, and there are like summer and winter semesters, so you have to take a note on that, because there are deadlines. Like for summer semester, it's usually December to January, and from winter semester, it's like from April to June. You can only apply during this period of time. And if I have to tell you before, the important documents that you'll be requiring for applying are the university transcripts. Like if you haven't received the mark sheet of your last semester, then the previous semester with suffice. And then a statement of purpose. That this is very important. Even if you're applying for other countries, the statement of purpose is an very important document that you'll be needing. Like even if your grades are not that good, if your statement of purpose is like very attractive, then you are at the higher chance of getting into a college. And recommendation letters from most of the universities, they ask in recommendation letter from your professors. So you can start asking them from now if you're planning to study abroad. Scholarships, yes. So scholarship, there are like various scholarships that are available for international students, especially for Indians in Germany. But then I didn't apply for any scholarship. As I told earlier, like you really have to have very good grades if you have to apply for a scholarship. Yes, and the DAD one is the most famous scholarship, but then they're not giving scholarship for master students currently. But if you're planning to do your PhD, then you can go ahead and apply for that scholarship. So conclusion, like I don't have much in conclusion, but then if I have to say, should I go for it? If it's your question, should I go abroad and study? If you're made up your mind, like the previous presenter, he told a very good example about a seed. So it's not that in first go you'll get it. If you're made your mind, like yes, I'm going to go abroad and do my masters, or if I'm going to go abroad and work, you need perseverance. You have to keep trying and trying. Like even if you fail, there's a chance that next time you're gonna get into it. So, and you need high level of motivation. Like you're gonna leave your family and everything in another place, you're gonna study. So, and a high level of motivation is, I really wanted to mention this for the German, because if you're planning to study in Germany, yes, the German language, if you really need to learn that language only if you have a good motivation. Like, okay, I'm gonna do my course in German, that I don't care. Like now, yes, if you ask me if it is easy for me to do a course in German, like my lectures are in German, I would say no. It is difficult, but it is really not impossible. The first semester I was struggling with the language, but now I've gotten better with that. It is like always nice, because the professors are also like friendly. Even if you're an international student and you have language barrier, I've also written my exam sometimes in English, and they are like okay with it. But then you have to know that if you're going to struggle for a small period of time, like I'm going to struggle for the next 2 or 3 years with this language and with my master program, but then I'm going to get better in it, and after 3 years, yes, I'll get a better career option. So thinking about my future, like keeping about my future in mind, I have to motivate myself to study in another language, and that's everything that I have to say. So yeah, thank you and best wishes for your future. And if you have any more questions, then you can ask me now or type it in chat. Or that was everything.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yep.
Actually, it was really a wonderful talk, and you have given us a clear idea about how we have to get into overseas for a higher education. And you have told us the modern education in various countries, like especially in Germany. And you have told us the opportunities for healthcare professions as well as the language knowledge and the eligibility criteria, etc. And definitely, ma'am, it was a high level of motivation as we saw in the last slide. And studying abroad or overseas is something like a dream coming true for all the students. I definitely believe this. And I hope this session is being a real boon for all of us to encourage the students to look into the higher studies, either in India or in abroad, definitely. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable time
Thank you.
joining with us. I'm looking forward to connected with you always and your guidance. Thank you so much. Ma'am, 1 second. I think we have a question here from a student. She is asking, I would like to ask, uh, what are the allied courses available in Germany? Students, if you have any queries, you can post it in your chat box.
So yes, if I have to talk about the allied courses, I'm really not sure about other courses, but then they are like physiotherapy, occupational audiology, and there are these courses, but I'm not sure about the subdivisions. If you ask about optometry, then I have very good knowledge about that. But then everything is available online. You can search in that these website, DAD website and UniAssist. Like you open that website and type in what you need. Like you entered the course, like I don't know from which course you are from. So you type masters and your course name, and it will give you a list of available courses that you can choose from.
Any other queries, students? There is a one more question here. I would like to know about exam like IELTS. Is there anything like that?
Yes, of course. So if you're taking an English thought course, then you need a TOEFL or an IELTS. That's important. But if you're writing an IELTS exam, it's like in Germany, you don't need a very good score. With 6 or 7 points, you can get in. And if you're doing a German thought course, then there's a similar exam like IELTS in German that's known as test staff exam. You have to clear that exam. So in order to clear that exam, you have to do your German courses, like to a 5-level German course. And after that, you have to do this exam. Only if you clear this exam, then you'll be admitted in the German thought program.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Students, is there any other questions you have to ask to ma'am about your career guidance? Yeah, ma'am. I think they're clear with that. In case of any doubts, students, do let me know, and I will ask to the speakers and let you know on the further period or time whenever we get. Okay. So thank you so much, ma'am. And over to Rita for the last speaker.
I would like to invite Mrs. Kallakuri Sumastri, is currently a lecturer teaching and learning mentor in the School of Chemical and Life Science, Singapore Polytechnic. She completed her master in clinical optometry from University of Melbourne. She received a Bachelor of Science in Optometry from BITS, Pilani, in collaboration with Sankara Nethralaya, Chennai. She worked as clinician optometrist in Sankara Nethralaya, Chennai, and also at LV Prasad High Institute, Hyderabad, two renowned high institutions in India. Her main focus was on clinical optometry, retinal imaging, and low vision services. She relocated to Singapore in 2007 prior to joining SP. She conducted epidemiological studies at Singapore High Research Institute. She joined SP in 2008 and currently teaches first year optometry student. And her main focus is on ocular anatomy and physiology, clinical optometry, and ophthalmic dispensing. She also supervises final year students' research projects. Her research interests are optical coherence tomography and myopia. As teaching and learning mentor, she conducts course and mentor new educator in novel educational like case method and a team-based learning. She received the SP Excellence in Teaching Award in 2019. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Prita. Thank you for the introduction and thank you for inviting me to be a speaker here. Okay, I would like to share my slides now. So are the slides visible? Can you all see my slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. Okay, so yeah, so just now I just heard Susanna speaking, and I think that was very enlightening to know a bit about Germany, which is a bit of information that I myself do not have. I don't have much knowledge in Europe, but anyway, whatever I have learned over the years, I will try to share with you all. I am not like the best person also maybe, but then just to give you a short introduction, as was already told, I have had my education in India. I have also had working experience in India. And then after that, yeah, I have relocated to Singapore and now I'm experiencing a different kind of life, work life here as an academician. So before I go to the career opportunities as such, I just wanted to give you a brief introduction as to what exactly is optometry, what is the job scope, and then I will go on to say that based on the job scope, what are all the different career options in different countries that you may want to pursue. So to get started, I just want to start with the definition of optometry as such. What does the term optometry mean? Basically, if you see in very general terms, optometry would mean something that is used to measure the eye, so to conduct eye measurements. So that is the only knowledge that I had when I actually embarked on my journey with optometry, yeah, very long ago, 20 plus years ago. And then after that, as I went through the course and as we learn new modules and as we get more and more exposure, I sort of started liking the optometry so much that I thought that, yeah, this is what I want to do. So coming with zero knowledge about optometry to where I am now, I think this is a profession that really is very fulfilling and meaningful. So if I have to go by the definitions of optometry from the dictionary, it is a healthcare profession which actually is involved in measuring eyesight, prescribing glasses, diagnosing diseases. I think this is something that we all know. According to the World Council of Optometry, optometry is a healthcare profession. And I would like to highlight here is that it is a regulated profession. So I will talk about this again. So optometry is a regulated profession worldwide, where optometrists are considered as the primary healthcare practitioners who are providing comprehensive eye and vision care. Again, the key here is comprehensive. So what I'm trying to say here is optometry is so much more than just glasses and contact lenses. We have a bigger role to play, and accordingly, we have a lot of choices that we can choose from. So again, to highlight the importance of optometry, this is from the World Health Organization data. So the leading cause of vision impairment in the world is uncorrected refractive errors and cataract. So uncorrected refractive errors, which can be just treated by giving a pair of glasses. So you can see how important our role is. If you look into the other causes of vision impairment in the world, the different eye conditions. So what can we do here? Yes, as an optometrist, you can do a comprehensive eye examination, detect these conditions early and refer them appropriately so that again, these conditions can be treated early. So you see that any eye condition that is present in the world, optometrist has a role to play, either as prescriptors of glasses, contact lenses, or other modalities, or at least by diagnosing the condition early and doing appropriate referrals. So what happens if we do not do enough? You imagine a child just having vision impairment because of the lack of glasses. There are going to be a lot of consequences as the child develops. There is going to be delayed development. The child will not perform well in school and there's going to be lifelong impairment. Similarly, imagine a working professional suddenly losing sight or is becoming visually impaired. That results in a lot of economic burden. So what is the scope of optometry? So this is something that we all know. Yes, spectacles, contact lenses. But then in contact lenses also we have many different types. So as an optometrist, we are in the field where we can specialize in this and then we can actually prescribe different types of contact lenses for different eye conditions. And then going beyond glasses and contact lenses, we also have this group of patients who will come to us with double vision, lazy eye, amblyopia, or some accommodative problems or certain binocular vision problems. Then we can always do vision therapy, vision training. We can take care of pediatric optometry or behavioral optometry for kids who are having learning disorders. Then, of course, those patients who have low vision, they have eye conditions which cannot be treated anymore, and they are left with a vision impairment. What can we do? Would be we can give them low vision devices. We can also give certain rehabilitative services so that they can still be productive with the functional vision that they have. Of course, another important aspect of optometry would be that we are the ones who the patient will see first. So as the first contact with the patients with eye care problems, we can detect and diagnose the conditions and do appropriate referral. If you cannot help them, at least send them to the right person who can help them. Also, nowadays, more and more work from home, use of online learning is happening, and then more and more people are using digital devices. So I think this is another important field that is seen, which is on visual ergonomics. So you can always talk to the patients of their eye care problems and can give advice on the posture, on the lighting, and so on. And of course, not to forget, being primary eye care practitioners, we have an important role in educating the community. The community, the general public, they may not know about the eye conditions and how to prevent them. So regularly, I would think that as an optom, we should have this responsibility of educating the general public so that they know what are the different eye problems and what they should do to get better from that. So we have seen what is optometry, what is the scope, and I hope you all have joined, or at least again, I am talking mainly about optometry because that's my field of specialty. I cannot really talk about the other allied health courses, but then if you are in the field of optometry and you actually join with no idea, as you are going through different courses and as you see the different job scopes that we have, then you must be thinking, so what next? I'm doing my bachelor's now. What do I do next? I think Susanna just now showed a very nice profile of how we can do, what we can do, and how to go about for further studies. So I would also like to say that the opportunities are unlimited. As we just saw, the job scope is also unlimited. There are so many things we can do as an optometrist. So yes, the opportunities for furthering your studies, for furthering your career is also unlimited. So sky is the limit. So what are the career pathways that we have? So firstly, as I mentioned, optometry is a regulated profession. It is a healthcare profession which is regulated all over the world. So the first thing we have to do after, or rather first thing that is supposed to be done by all optom students would be, after finishing your studies, find the appropriate registration or the legislation body in your country, and then get registered. Be a registered optometrist in the country of the practice, and then start looking for what else you can do. So the first thing I think is good that we all go through the registration process so that the standards of optometry is kept high. And then it is comparable across countries. Then it is easier for you also to get a job or to study further. So as an optometrist itself, you can choose to work with corporates. You can choose to work in the retail. You could be an independent practitioner. You can have your own eye clinic, or you can do freelance work with different centers. You can also work in clinics or hospitals. As an optometrist, you also get to go and work with research institutes in the industry, mainly the ophthalmic lens companies and the contact lens companies under their professional affairs. So all of these are the roles that you can take in as an optometrist. Then into academics. So that is another option. If you do not want to go in the clinical route, you can always think of how to help the future generations. And then you can go into academics. And then I will again tell you about, if you have to be in the academics, I think it is good to finish your bachelor's and also to continue and pursue your further education. So it is good to have at least a master's or a PhD if you are going to be in the academics. And then of course you want to do further studies. You can do your master's, you can do your master's in MPhil, you can do your MS, MSc. Then of course, if you are going the research path, you will go on to do your PhD. If you want to do a clinical optometry and further your studies, you can also think of doing OD, which is a doctorate in optometry. Then of course, you can always specialize. So for specialization, we will look into the different fields. So based on the job scopes that we saw just now, specializations could be into any of these fields of contact lens, binocular vision, pediatric, behavioral, vision therapy, geriatric, low vision, sports vision, or even diagnostics. So all of these fields can be chosen either as you study further, as you do your master's or your PhD, or you have to look out for institutes that conduct fellowship programs, and then you can do your fellowship in any of these specializations that you would like to do. Of course, you can also look into NGOs and blind schools or schools for visually impaired, where you can also be involved in prescribing low vision devices or to provide rehabilitative services. Yeah, and then there are also this group of students who would like to go into business and administration, marketing. Yeah, that's another field that you may think of. So you may be wondering, after optometry, why would I want to do that? Yeah, again, it's up to us how much we want to broaden our perspective. And then also the last but not the least, I think there is a role and there is this pathway for future optometrists to be entrepreneurs. So be creative, be innovative, and you can come out with new products, new machines, and new instruments that will help in this field. So if you are looking at furthering your studies, as Susanna just mentioned, few things that you would have to do. Firstly is you have to do a lot of planning. So if you're thinking of doing your studies overseas and you are already in your 4th year, then I think you will have to look out for when the applications are open, and then you may have to wait, because most of the universities will work in a semester system, and they usually have 2 semesters, the fall or the winter. So depending on the country, the period may be a bit different, but you can either have it in the fall, which is the September, October, or you will have it in the January. So if you are looking at a particular semester that you would like to apply, then I think the process of applications should start almost a year in advance, because there are lots of preparations that you have to do. So as again, all the university information is all available online. Nowadays, everything is available. Just you have to search for the information that you need. So look at the universities in the countries that you would like to pursue. Look at the course that you like, and then do your research from there. So what are the steps that you would have to follow? Again, it's up to you. You may have your own way of doing, but I think this is just one of the ways in which you can get started, is first start the colleges and courses that you want to do. So decide on a course, then look for the colleges or the universities that provide this course. Look for the country of your choice. Then you have to contact the schools or even visit the websites for more information. Most of the universities overseas will have a special contact us or some support service center where they will, when you ask questions, they will always reply immediately, almost immediately. Then you narrow down your list of schools based on your specialization that you want to, the country that you would like to go, the semester that you would like to appear. Then you narrow down your list of schools. But that's not all. If you have chosen a school, then you have to see what are the eligibility requirements, what are the entry requirements. And for Indian students going overseas to study, we have to take a few entrance exams. Especially if you're going to USA, we may have to take the GRE. And all overseas universities, if you're going into an English speaking or English medium course of instruction, we have to take the English language tests. So the TOEFL, the TOEFL, or the IELTS is a must for any overseas further education. Then, as Susanna mentioned, yes, the statement of purpose, the SOP, is very, very important. This shows the prospective researcher or the prospective school what is it that they are looking at, what is your capabilities, what is it that you want to do, and how well, or what is your passion and aptitude in going to if you have to be taken by them, they have to be interested in you. So this statement of purpose should have all that information by which you are going to show off how well you can perform and what your passion is. That is from your personal. As a student, you have to give your statement of purpose. Then you should also ask for letter of recommendation. So the LOR here stands for letter of recommendations. So get the recommendation letters from your teachers and then keep them, be ready with them, so that when you have already gone through the application, you have to submit this along. So your scores are important, but then they are not the only thing that the prospective university is looking at. They are also going to look at they are mostly going to look at the statement of purpose and the letter of recommendations. These are two important documents that will actually help you to get a seat in their university. Yes, also apply the colleges or the universities that actually fit your interest. Look at the geographical location, see the climate, and see the accessibility to different, maybe the healthcare there, the accommodation, the food preferences and all that. And then you choose a university that you would like to go into. So if you are looking into universities in USA and Canada, so you can actually look into this link called optometryeducation.org. And there is this Association of Schools and Colleges of Optometry. All of this is available online. You can go into this and then you can see that there is a list of universities that will come out, and then you can actually choose based on whatever your preference is. I have just named a few of the institutes from USA here. I happen to, or rather I have my friends, my classmates or my students have gone to these universities. So I am just naming a few here. But then in USA, I think there are almost 23 universities that are providing optometry. So it is just for you to find the right fit, the right match, and you can apply. In Canada, there are 2 universities. I only show you one here is because this is the university that provides the course in English. There's another university that will provide the course in French. So as Susanna mentioned, if you are very interested and you are the type who wants to explore and try new things, yeah, why not learn a new language and go to a new country and learn the course there itself? So that is also possible. So when you're thinking of going to USA or Canada, just be mindful that there are that extra exams that you have to take, like the GRE and the English language speaking courses as well. And then also remember that in USA, when you go, the options that you have are you can take your master's, or it will be you want to do your OD, which is the doctorate in optometry. So you have to find out the courses that are available and see what our degree will support. So you can go into masters and then you can do your PhD, and you can also do your OD, or you can go in to do your OD directly. So OD, a doctorate in optometry, is a 4-year program for which you need to have a bachelor's degree. So they are going to look at your transcripts. They are going to see what are the subjects that you have taken in India, and they will see how well you fit into the course. Accordingly, they can offer you the course, a seat in their university. So in USA and Canada, there are different, the job scope is slightly more different. In USA or Canada, the optometrists can actually, in some states in USA, they can actually even perform laser refractive surgeries. They can prescribe medicines for glaucoma or for conjunctivitis and so on. So if you're going to USA or Canada, you will see that optometry, the way it is practiced in there is quite different from what we will see in India. Okay, so then I say a bit about Australia and New Zealand. So if you are thinking of going for overseas studies in Australia or New Zealand, yeah, one thing that, as Susanna mentioned, do not go via any agencies. If you're going through private agencies or local agencies, they may charge you for doing exactly the same work that you can. Sorry, can I continue? Right. So if you are thinking of pursuing your further studies in Australia or New Zealand, you can actually look into this IDP education. This will can help you in finding the right fit. And usually they are like the official agents for most of the Australian universities. You can also do it yourself if you would like to do so, because most of the universities you can contact directly and get all the information. So if you are going to go for further studies, yeah, you can go to any of these universities that I have mentioned here. And then most of the courses, most of the universities here will accept master's program students and also for PhD. University of Melbourne also has a 4-year OD program similar to the US universities. And in Australia, most of the courses that you'll take up will also have a therapeutics module, which means that as optoms, even Australia, you can actually prescribe certain medications to your patients. But if you want to practice as an optom in Australia or New Zealand, then please go to this website, the OCANZ. And this is the Optometry Council of Australia and New Zealand. And that will tell you, that will give you a list of accepted overseas degrees that who can practice in Australia or New Zealand. If your course is not in the list, which will allow you to practice directly, you can always take their license exam. So again, all the details are provided in this link. You can just click on this link and see. If you have done your bachelor's in India and you would like to practice in Australia, then there are certain requirements that you have to fulfill. You have to take a license exam. You have to show your proficiency, and they will match your standards to the optometry standards in Australia, and then you can practice in Australia. But with a bachelor's from India, you cannot directly go and practice. You can go and write the license exam, or you can go and do further specializations, and then you can see whether you can practice there or not. So in Australia, you have these 5 main universities, and in New Zealand, you have the Auckland University, all of which are providing optometry programs. Then if moving on to UK. So in UK, again, there is this UCAS agency or a link that you can use to apply to colleges in UK. And that is, if you go via UCAS, they will actually look at your transcripts and all your other qualifications, and they can match you to into the university. Again, if you want, you can directly apply as well. If you are planning to go to UK to study, there are many universities in UK, but again, I just name a few here, which I know of where my classmates, my friends have been, and also some of our students have been there to study optometry. If you are thinking of practicing in UK, again, this is, as I said, optometry is a registered profession. So everybody have to be licensed under the General Optical Council in UK. So to practice in UK, you have to study in UK. And then only then you can be registered with the General Optical Council, and then you can practice as a optometrist. But if you want to go there to do your further studies, yes, you can go for masters, you can go for your PhD as well. So most of the countries are welcome foreign students to do their further studies in masters or PhD. One way to look for a course would be to find a lecturer or a professor in that university, read up on that particular person and see what is their research interest. If that research interest matches your interest, I think it's good for you to start communicating with the professor in that university. Maybe you would like to do a final year project in that field, and that you can include in your statement of purpose. So that is like additional points for you. And then you can talk to the professor, and then you can get some recommendation from that professor, and then you can actually apply. So most of the times it is good if you go through the university website, see the papers that they have published, see the research areas that each of the university is involved in. And then from the research areas that you can see, you can also try to match your interest to that and then apply accordingly. If they have a research position, if they are doing research in myopia and your interest is myopia, and your statement of purpose shows your interest in that, there is a high chance that you can get selected to go there to do your master's. Instead of giving a very general opinion as to, I just want to pursue my master's, I think it is good for you to show a specialization that you want to pursue, and do some work before you actually apply. So I think being bachelor students, you definitely have a final year project. So one of the things would be to choose a topic in your final year project which you think you're going to continue later. So that will help you to get some extra points in your statement of purpose, and also to get your seat in the university. Okay, so this is about the different countries that I have some idea. I have not included Europe here is because I have really very limited knowledge of the European colleges. But as Susanna also mentioned, one of the main thing is if you want to study in Europe, you need to know the language there. So you have to study their language first before you can pursue a course in that particular country. So coming to Singapore, so yeah, Singapore is home now for the past 13 years. So if you have to practice, or if you would want to look for opportunities in Singapore to practice as an optometrist, it is not possible. You want to look into this website called OOB, the Optometrist and Optician Board. And then you can see what are all the qualifications that are accepted or recognized by Singapore to practice optometry. Indian degrees is not covered here at all. So if you have a overseas degree like a PhD or a doctorate in USA or Australia, then you can come in and practice. But with a bachelor's or a master's in optometry from India, or it's not really possible to practice as an optometrist here. But you can do your further studies. There are possibilities of doing your master's or PhD. So these are some of the institutes that I have shown here. There's a Singapore Eye Research Institute, the National University of Singapore, and also A-STAR. So these are all research institutes which take in overseas students for their master's and PhD programs. Again, if you are applying for master's or PhD in Singapore, you need to do your GRE and also have to write the English language tests, the TOEFL and IELTS, or IELTS, one of them. And again, I will tell you is to look into these websites of these organizations, see what research is the current research that they are doing. Then you look at the researcher, the professor who is doing a particular research, and then you can actually start the conversation and then do some work in your home country as well, and then you have a higher chance of coming here. If you are looking for a career in Singapore, the only option is to come via as a researcher. But if you want to practice optometry in Singapore from India, it is not really possible. And if you are in Singapore doing your research, I think Singapore is a very, what should I say, relaxed country, as the work-life balance is definitely there compared to India. As was mentioned, similar to Europe or other countries, we have limited fixed hours of work with 2 off days in a week and so on. And it is very close to India. And there are no different seasons here. So it's the same climate throughout the year. So you don't have the freezing cold and the other things that we will have difficulty in adjusting in Europe or USA or Australia. Yeah, so there are benefits of coming to Singapore, and if you want to pursue your career here. But yeah, you have to be wise enough to find the right professor who is doing a research in your field of interest, and then you have to apply after you have done your GRE or your English language tests. Okay, then why not India, right? Of course, in India also there are multiple universities which are offering further education opportunities now. And recently, I think it's very new. In 2021, we have this Allied and Healthcare Professions Act, which has included optometry as one of the regulated profession, which was not there all this while. So with this recognition, I think it is going to open up new areas and new avenues for those who want to pursue education in India itself. So yeah, if you are planning for further studies, also do look into the universities that are providing further education opportunities in India. You can do your master's, you can do your MPhil, you can do your fellowship. Even your PhD can be done in India now. So yeah, across the world, there are multiple opportunities. It is for you to choose and decide where you want to go. So what is the right way? I know all of us are trying to reach the peak, but everybody has their own journey, different ways. There are many different ways that we can take, but eventually it will reach to your goal. So firstly, decide what you want to do, and then see which way would be the best way for you. So what the route that I take may be different from the route that you would like to take, but eventually we all would like to reach the peak, our peak in the career, our peak in terms of studies or whatever you want to do next. And I think at the end, what we want to see is all smiling faces. You should be happy, your family should be happy, and also the patients and the general public whom you are taking care of. Yeah, so that will be all from me. Thank you. I hope this has been useful, and if there are any questions, yes, I'll be happy to take a few questions.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Students, you have any questions regarding optometry, you can post your questions in the chat box.
Seems like I gave a very clear lecture, so there are no questions.
Yes, ma'am.
I would
Actually,
like to think it like that.
really true. And the first slide itself, I noted a point like optometry is not just lenses and spectacles. It is more than anything I could. Even I didn't have that much knowledge about what optometry is really. But you gave us a wide knowledge about optometry and the scope and the career guidance to the optometry students. I think optometry students, this is a great session for you to gain knowledge about the worldwide colleges and the higher studies, whatever you want to pursue in. And ma'am has given us the details about the various countries like UK and Australia, New Zealand as well, and Singapore, of course. And I think the students would have noted down the colleges because even I was taking few photos of that for my knowledge.
I have shared the slides actually. So if if it's useful, you can see them. There's nothing, all the information is available in the internet. I have just put them all together. So if the organizers, I have shared the slides with them. So if anybody wants the slides, I think, yeah, you're free to use them.
Yes, ma'am. Sure, we will give it to the students whoever needs it. And ma'am, I think there is a question from a student.
Yes.
And is we need optometry license to study in Canada? And yes,
No,
is
if
that
you, yeah, okay, so that's a good question. But yeah, to study anywhere if you want to do your further studies in any part of the world, you don't need to have a license. You just need to have a requirement, which would be usually, as a student now, is a bachelor's degree. So with the bachelor degree, you can actually apply for any overseas university to do your master's, and then maybe eventually you want to do your PhD. Even if you want to go to Canada or USA and do your optometry, doctorate in optometry, the OD program, also you don't need a license. You have to have your bachelor's degree, and along with that, you also have to have your like the GRE or your IELTS and TOEFL exam, and then you can apply for further studies.
yeah. There is one more question here. Is Doctor of Optometry is available in India?
Okay, so as I said, in India, we have most of the further studies opportunities like master's and PhD. But yeah, Doctor of Optometry, I don't think we have it in India. Because if you have a PhD, also you're considered a doctor. And in India, you can practice even with a bachelor's. So yeah, in India, we do not have a doctorate of optometry. But yeah, there are other further specialization programs. In USA and Canada, if you want to practice, you need to have a OD degree. Only those who have a OD degree can practice in USA and Canada.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for clearing our doubts regarding the session. And students, any more questions to be asked?
If anybody wants to know a bit more about Singapore.
Yes, I would like to add a point here about the Doctor of Optometry courses in India. Yes, recently they have started Doctor of Optometry in Kerala, like very recently. There's a college. It's a 2-year course, and yes, you'll be getting the doctorate degree after the 2 years, and it's very much clinically oriented. But I'm really not sure about the name. But then I'll ask my friend. One of my friend is doing her Doctor of Optometry there. So I'll ask and maybe I'll let it know to your professor or someone. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that is news to me. Thank you. Because yeah, I've been away from India for quite a while. I did not know about this new development. Yeah, so why look further? Everything is actually available in India now.
Thank you, Susanna, ma'am. You made a point here. I think that would have cleared a doubt to the students. And yes, ma'am, thank you so much for joining us all the way long from Singapore and connecting us through this webinar. And it's a privilege to have you here as one of our speaker. And looking forward to connect to you always. And you will be a part of our career guidance person as well.
Sure, I can do as much as I can. No problem. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you for inviting me, and best of luck to all the students there. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, students, we'll be winding up our session. Before that, we have a few sets of feedback questions here, and that will be sent to you through our group. Maybe your today. Now we are sending that. I think you can send it back by filling your feedback form, and any suggestions also you can give in that thing itself. And now over to Preeta, and she'll be here to deliver us the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm honored to have the opportunity to give you. I'm honored to have the opportunity to give you a vote of thanks on this special day. I would like to thank our honorable principal madam for all the enthusiasm and energy she carries for the students. And I would like to thank eminent speakers from various countries who have walked here to share their knowledge and experience with the student community. I would like to thank Mr. Ranjit Kumar Invasekharan sir for gracing your crucial work and sharing with us your opinion and finding this present. I would like to thank Ms. Susanna Perlan for your insightful and excellent presentation, ma'am. And I would like to thank Mrs. Kallakuri Sumashri for her time and effort you took to share your thoughts and experience. And I would like to thank our faculties and students for making this webinar successful. Thank you everyone once again for making it a great success. And now we'll end the session. Thanks for your cooperation. Thank you. Please fill the feedback. Thank you. Now we'll wind up the session.